Yes! Hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. Welcome to another coffee break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. Now, as always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site-42, as well as Head Containment Specialist. And as always, for 5.5 months and running, the streak continues strong. I am here with my office door open to you, the Site-42 and greater SCP Foundation staff, to answer your questions about the SCP Foundation and its anomalies, staff, groups of interest, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall... You saw nothing. Anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps because they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I am here to educate, elucidate, and illuminate you to the secrets of the Foundation for the next about 1 hour. And that's because I have been told that I'm not allowed in Steve's medical chamber for the next hour. I barged right in there. They said Steve woke up, and then they kicked me out. My own medical staff kicked me out. They said, no, you've got to let him have a cup of tea. You've got to let him regroup himself. Steve owes me freaking answers, for I was locked up for an entire weekend and change, and then there was a containment breach, a chaos insurgency, and GRU Division P joint assault on Site-42, and I was memory wiped for it, advanced, accused of being anomalous. Excuse me, I want answers now, but because I am a kind and loving site director, with which no one will disagree with that. No one will disagree with that, right? Right? Because I am a kind and loving site director, I took medical's advice, and I'm waiting for them to grant me permission to go interview Steve. I was told interrogate is too harsh a word. So, that being said, let me begin today's stream with a little house cleaning. First of all, junior researcher Sally, congratulations on a streak of being the most punctual researcher on site to office hours. Congratulations on being first multiple times in a row. Meanwhile, you, as well as junior researcher HLG, legendary Doge, senior researcher Alex, Orange Cloud, Dr. Puppeteer, Clover on pause, been a while, good to see ya. AA Blackwood, Lil, Silent Follower, Dr. Dyshern, Scarlet Fox. Anyone else? Dr. America, Puppet Boy, Light Steve, Marker the Oliver, Amber, Terragal, Anna and friends. Everybody who I just named, thank you for being punctual to today's stream, and thank you for being members. We appreciate your membership and your service. Meanwhile, Triangle Guy, Alkermons, and Gaster, congratulations for being punctual to stream, and thank you for being here just for being you. And yes, Desk, your little mahogany guilt trip has landed. It's good to see you too, because you work here. Thank you for being on time for your job. Meanwhile, Marker the Oliver, oh, congratulations on becoming a member as I was introducing today's members. Thank you for getting that in under the wire. Welcome to Advanced Staff, and thank you for your membership and your service as a level 1 researcher, researching plots to win the Battle of the White Names. Now, also, before we get in deep to today's theme and stream subject, allow me to tell you that this is a sponsored stream today. You have less than 48 hours right now to join the Kickstarter for the SCP-3008 Infinite Furniture Store physical and digital comic book, The Maze of Shelves. The Maze of Shelves is a original story taking place inside the Infinite IKEA. Because the Kickstarters have gone so well, they are all color when they were originally going to be black and white. You have less than 48 hours to get your copy of Episode 2, as well as a back catalog of Episode 1, which is important because we have the Dr. Sherman variant cover of Episode 1 is up for a secret link in the description, and the Dr. Sherman variant cover of Episode 2, which looks a little bit like this, is what we are bidding on right now. So yes, you have less than 48 hours to go to the links in our description or in our Site 42 support link, which, gods help me, I forgot to pin today. And by gods in this case, I mean the combined powers of all four Jesus that we have in containment. That would be Bread Jesus, Vor Jesus, Uber Driver Jesus, and Milk Jesus, aka Jesus. So while they are hot, you should get them. Not the Jesus, the comic books. The Jesus are not attractive in any sense of the word. And that's not just because I am asexual. It is also because Vor Jesus doesn't have eyes or a nose. It just has a mouth that can unhinge its jaw to the size to swallow you whole. I guess there's some really weird people who would find that attractive, but it's okay, because we don't fraternize with anomalies here. So they're not going to go in there. Either way, thank you to Site 19 Comics for sponsoring our streams, and get your comic books before times run out. Now, Leuna, thank you for being the first proper donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Nuka-Cola Quantum on your way past the commissary. Hi, Doc. I'm on her Overwatch. Should she be defrosting already? We are still 2 months from her release. Listen, we get this question every year. Mariah Carey is an Archon class anomaly. We can hold her for most of the year. We can hold that anomaly in check. We can lock it up. But if we don't let it out for the holiday season, you don't want to know what would happen. People are always asking, SCP Foundation, can't you contain Mariah Carey? Trust me, you don't want us to. Just let things take the course they take. It'll be fine. You'll be fine. Also, as my last bit of house cleaning for today's stream, before we get into the subject matter, hey, what do you think of my new shirt? This is a pretty good shirt, huh? I'm pretty happy about the color scheme of this one. As you can tell from yesterday, I went shopping. Obviously, we don't get a lot of new material here on site. We get the runoffs from the wholesalers. And so, trust me, do not pay full price for anything on site. They are scamming you. Everything we get here at Site 42, it is not the new season. It is not the new fashions. In fact, you can haggle down every store on campus because, trust me, every store we have is essentially a Goodwill of fashion. So when you get a good one, you gotta fight someone for it. Clef and I got into a bit of tussle over this one, but this time I won because Clef left his shotgun at home. Otherwise, I would not have won. So yes, I get to be fashionable because Clef was a little sloppy this time. Next time I will not be so lucky. Anyways, let me start checking in with the chat. Hey, Dr. Sherman, out of dumb curiosity, does the Foundation allow video games? Well, Intern Blaze, that depends on who we're allowing them for. Once again, like I said, when the staff needs recreation, obviously we have the game room, and that has beyond physical games like foosball and billiards. We also have several video game consoles set up. It takes us a while to get the current generation models because, again, we're a secretive organization. We can't exactly go to the wholesale and say, oh, the SCP Foundation is here. Please give us a bunch of Switch 2s. It doesn't work like that. And so, yes, we have to go through some back channels. The black market takes time to stock on the newer systems. But it's fine. If you're a classic game enjoyer, we have a very large library. I myself am an Earthbound and Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars aficionado. And I can play those all day, especially now that the remake has come in. The remake has some very good quality of life changes. I'm very happy about that. Not sponsored by Nintendo, by the way. Now, for anomalies, we have a different scenario, which is anomalies get video games as part of their privileges for good behavior. So if an anomalous entity wants to requisition a gaming console for some entertainment time, it's not as if they get to keep it in their room permanently. We have a team in the Pasta Physics division who runs around doing quality of life for contained anomalies. It's important. And they bring the consoles out at the beginning of the day and they check them in like a gaming library at the end of the day. And so different gaming consoles can be lent out, first come, first serve, as they go. Obviously, we disable all of the internet features because we can't have anomalies online interacting with the general public. I mean, we had enough of that when Thonus was frickin' trolling us on Among Us for months. Ay caramba. Is that 5167? SCP-5167 is Thonus? Yes. So, obviously, we have had some requests to set up a local area network, i.e. LAN, where anomalies could multiplayer game. It is currently going over a approval process, but if so, then we may allow network gaming between anomalies. The problem is we have so many problems on SkipNet anyways, with anomalous AIs trying to take over things, so we don't want to give them access to the SkipNet database for sure, so we have to do some workarounds. Ay, caramba. Neo Max, welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Leuna, thank you for donating twice again. Much obliged. Okay, I'll keep an eye on liquid O2 levels just to be safe. Thank you. Yes, if something happened to the entity known as M. Carey, the world is not ready. Leuna, also your other donation. I just got a Dreamcast with Skies of Arcadia in my room. Such a good way to relax. Well, yes, when you are helping out with anomalies, when you are loyal to the Foundation, you get better privileges, which is why anomalous entities should listen to the protocols, and then they get nice gifts. Congratulations. Marker the Oliver, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as newly becoming a member. Make sure to grab yourself a savory crepe on your way past the commissary. So, I'm still on the run from the Foundation, watching this in a public train. Ah, good. The holographic helmet is holding. Entity does not realize it is stuck in a chair in a medically induced coma. Yes. Yes, you have fun on the run. Fun on the run. Well, we'll get you. We'll get you certainly. Mentally Lost, long time no see. Good to see you, and thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Choco Taco on your way past the commissary. And by the way, before I answer this, have you had a Choco Taco in the past? I just recently discovered that Choco Tacos had been discontinued. It was a nightmare. That's rude. That delightful ice cream waffle cone taco treat? Who dares discontinue such a delightful specimen of snacking? But just as soon as I learned they had been discontinued, I learned they're coming back. Now, they're not coming back in their original form. What's happening is Taco Bell is releasing a Choco Taco dessert. Now, their Choco Taco dessert apparently has a chili flavored ice cream, so I'm very interested in this. Not sponsored by Taco Bell either. We're only sponsored by the Maze of Shelves Site 19 Comics comic book, link in the description. But, man, I'm talking about a lot of brands today by accident. Either way, I look forward to seeing if it's as good as the old thing because, man, Choco Taco's delightful. Anyways, you said, help, I made an anti-memetic bomb and it's about to go. Wait, what was I saying? Where am I? Who are you and why is there a pile of scrap in front of me? My head hurts. Do you know why? Listen. There are certain entities I'm not at liberty to speak about, but good job containing it. Go to medical, get yourself cleaned up. Foxabunny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a tiramisu gelato on your way past the commissary. Pretty sure there's a Cthulhu lookalike SCP that plays online matchmaking games. SCP-2662. Does 2662 get online matchmaking? I know we give it gaming consoles. Track of new religious followings. Lethal force. Containment unit. Log excerpt. Game. It gets a computer and requested computer games totaling no more than $50 every month. Does that say anything about online gaming? No. Don't make assumptions. You'll make an ass out of yourself and not me because I knew better. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to sass you that hard. I'm still salty about Steve and not being allowed to interview Steve. Leuna, thank you for donating again. Do you mean a logical anomaly network? Is that real? Author Sherman is telling me that a logical anomaly network sounds like it's a new SCP idea in the making. And I hate it because I don't want the anomalies networked. Don't listen to Author Sherman. What's good for the story is almost never good for the characters in the story. Lockjaw, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Wafa Thin Mint on your way past the commissary. Sample of 999 and 682 to Bananazilla at the same time. No! No, no, no! Think before you plan experiments. Jiminy sakes. Intern Enjoyer, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. The Haunted Researcher, thank you for your 2-month member message as a mobile task force captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the successful body count you have in the battle against the white names. Hi, Dr. Sherman, making a costume for my OC. The username is the OC working on name, but that's what I got right now. Hey, Make art. Always approve of making art. Good job. What site gets yet another murder monster for this Thanksgiving? Interesting question. Let me look up the roster. SCP-5031. Date. Thanksgiving 2025. It looks like Site 539 is getting SCP-5031 this year for Thanksgiving. Lucky them. Meanwhile, it looks like we at Site 42 are getting allocated SCP-3307. What is SCP-3307? Object class Euclid, codename Cornucopias. No! No! I refuse! We are not hosting Cornucopias at the Thanksgiving this year. No! 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 In case you are unfamiliar, SCP-3307, codename Cornucopias, is a agent of the SCP Foundation who was abducted by aliens. Aliens who, with the best of intentions, said, hey, I want you to be able to have infinite food for your race. I am sure that this would be a good thing. And what they did is they transformed Agent... What's the agent's name? Agent J Redacted. So we'll just call him Agent J. No relation to the Men in Black. Agent J was turned into a human food spawning mechanism. Whatever your favorite food is, if you think about it, within range of 3307, that food is spawned from one of Agent J's bodily orifices. For instance, SCP-3307 expelled a small amount of mashed potatoes from its oral cavity and then began to leak gravy from its nostrils. And then started urinating hot coffee. Suffice it to say, we have not been able to get any of the D-Class involved to eat or drink the foodstuffs presented by 3307. And I don't blame them. I am refusing 3307. I will take nothing for Thanksgiving over 3307. All opposed, say nay in the chat. But I hope everyone who is for turning away 3307 gives me some pogs in the chat. Jiminy sakes, disgusting. I'm sure the overseers are pranking us for getting raided. I'm sure this is some sort of punishment. And remember, Site 42 members, if you're a green name, you have a Dr. Sherman Pog emoji in the custom emojis that you can use. Benefits of green naming. Leuna, welcome to level 1 researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and your service in the battle against the White Names. And then Dr. Cullivan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself you know what? Grab yourself a nice charcuterie board on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I, Dr. Cullivan, don't remember anything past the age of 15. I was found. If I wrote with SCP-067, would it write before I woke up? So, SCP-067, which, in case you are unfamiliar, is a fountain pen with which if a person or entity that can hold a pen holds it, then the arm becomes an alien limb syndrome situation where it acts of its own volition, and the fountain pen writes your own biography without your help, and it even writes things you don't remember. So yes, if you are amnesticized, SCP-067 can help with that. Also, right now it's a very prominent internet brain rot meme, apparently. I was so curious why everyone was so amped up about a fountain pen until I realized the difference. The tree emoji is the best emoji, and you'll never make it scream. Terragal, don't push me. 4521 is going down. By going down, I mean screaming. Bet on it. Dark Duality, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, for being a member, and for doing so through the Ko-Fi, which takes less of the fees from your donation. So we appreciate you going through the extra effort. Make sure to grab yourself grab yourself some fruity OT bars on your way past the commissary. Vulgan, aka Dr. Miller, aka friend of the channel and all around nice chap, confused me today about an SCP called a real doll. Anomalies change apparently, since the old effect was for people to have a relationship, almost marriage with her, but unless I saw wrong, now she has changed. A real doll on Dr. Miller's database. Let me check in with Dr. Miller real quick. Is this a document from today or recently? This is from, okay, a year ago, but it's 1805. Gotcha. And so that was recorded 1 year ago. And checking in with SCP-1805. So this is something I do very often when I'm a little confused about the canon and universal fluctuations on the SCP Wiki. If you go to the bottom of any page, you will see the... what's the phrase I'm looking for? The options for a database entry. Things like edit, rate, tags, discuss, history, files, print, site tools, and then further options. So in the case where something doesn't seem exactly where I remember it, I go back and I look at the history section, because the history section will show you every revision that has been done on the article. Now, it looks as if the last time 1805 was edited in any manner was on October 21st, 2022. And that is, every edit from 2020 forward does not seem to have had anything to do with the content of the article, just with tags and fiddling with the article's metadata. It looks as if the last time something was added that had to do with content may have been back in 2014 or 2012. So, Dark Duality, it's really going to depend on when was the last time you read that article, because it seems like it hasn't changed in a very long time. Okay. Dark Duality, thank you for donating twice through the Super Chats to get to me very quickly to tell me that, oh, you mixed up 1851 with 1805. Okay. 1851, gotcha. And if I go back in the history again for the entity codename Dollhouse, then it looks like tags. It looks like there was an edit of some kind, but it looks like it was still tags in 2021. It looks like there was only some minor changes in 2019. And it looks like what you're saying is that you just mistook two entities by database number, which funnily enough were both about dolls. So that makes sense. I understand the confusion. We have a lot of doll entities, so that makes sense. Meanwhile, let me check something here. What was I just... Oh, yes. Intern Durr. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I'm going to take a little bit of a learning moment here. A teachable moment, if you will. Intern Parker. You asked one question multiple times in one chat message as a spammer. You then complained that no one answered your question, even though it wasn't particularly interesting and it was spammy, so it was deleted. You should learn some proper social graces, because otherwise, I'm not going to answer you because you're rude. You're here to ask me questions. You shouldn't be volatile about it. Play nice, people. Just because we're on the internet doesn't mean you get to be a dick. In fact, if you read the rules of the SCP Wiki, where we're all talking about content from, Rule 0 of the internet, as well as the SCP Wiki, is don't be a dick. It's right there in the rules. Have you tried cutting off SCP-4521 branches to make it scream, Dr. Sherman? Clipsy, that's one of the first things we did. And we cut them off smoothly, and then we cut them off with serrated edges, and then we snapped them off violently, and then we used a tiny little blade to make it take all day. And yet, it still didn't scream. Trust me, we worked that angle. Coming back to the chat. Felix, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, and welcome back. It's been a while. Make sure to grab yourself a taquito on your way past the commissary. The Eclipse order is unavailable due to an anomaly corrupting other universes from 404's mainframe. If you need to give me Q message to them, I'm here. Well, right now everything's kind of relaxed, so we're not in need of aid at this time. Or hopefully anytime soon. And that was a prayer to Uber driver Jesus, who will hopefully speed us through any sort of errors without needing assistance. SCP-029-J is here for us in this sense. Da da da. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for donating again. May I do this experiment then? I want to know. Certainly. Yes, I enjoy the idea of having more use for SCP-067. It actually is an incredibly useful anomaly that is seemingly underserved, and honestly, I'm not mad about this SCP-67 meme that's gotten very popular in the brain rot community, because it's brought highlight to a very good article on the wiki, not in if it's a deep story, but it's just a good object that's very useful. There's many ways this story could be seen. You know, the thing about the SCP Wiki is it's gone through phases in writing quality and writing content. And back in the early days, it was just about, ooh, make a spooky monster. Ooh, make a weird object. And although the Wiki has gotten very more story structured in its iteration since then, because let's face it, this is not a flaw in the Wiki. It's the fact that once you've made thousands of just simple stories, you can't go back to that well. You've got to up the complexity. You've got to evolve. It's evolution, baby. You start off as single-celled organisms. You got to evolve to survive. And so it makes sense that we don't do that as often. But I would like to see some interesting, just simple objects again. And I wonder if Classic Con has any of those. Some simple objects or some simple entities. Not that we need to flood the Wiki with it, of course. We need balance in all things. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. But 067 is a very useful anomalous object. We should be getting more use out of it. Alex! Good to see you in the chat, buddy. Thank you for the hype. You appreciate seeing me again. You enjoy our work. That's all that matters. We're bringing you the joy of the SCP Foundation one day at a time, and I'm happy you're here for it, buddy. Mentally Lost, thank you for donating again. So I'm just going to guess my name is Lost, for that is what you called me. Couldn't find medical, but found a plague doctor, and they wish to talk with me. They say that a sense of void where pestilence was. The plague doctor senses a void where pestilence once was. Well, I'm very interested in that, as it might give us tips as to what this harebrained cockamamie pestilence is that 049 is always talking about. So yes, please give me some more intel. I'd appreciate it. Fred, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a tostada on your way past the commissary. I'm gonna go play Roblox. See ya. Have a good day or night. Well, you have fun with your gaming, and we'll be here talking about the Foundation. Void Piercer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a tamale on your way past the commissary. What would the Foundation do if they found an entity nearly like 682, but they were human and was more compliant with the Foundation? Well, we'd probably just put it in a box. In previous iterations of the Foundation, they might put it on a mobile task force or something, but a big defensive entity like that would only go so well for defending troops. I guess it could be pretty offensive if it evolved that way. Anyways, it's kind of risky, so the matter of compliance and loyalty is an issue. Most likely the answer is just keep it locked up. If it stays in a box, hooray. Oh, Fred, you donated earlier too. Thank you for your other donation. How's SCP-999 doing? SCP-999 is doing just fine today. Also, someone was asking in the chat earlier, I spotted this. Someone wondered if SCP-999 leaves a trail of slime behind it? A snail trail? No, SCP-999 is more viscous than that, and as it slimes its way down the halls, it stays together. It does not need cleanup. Entire package, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a plate of street tacos on your way past the commissary. I work for Urban Shade. Are you one of our agents planted within Urban Shade, or are you actually an employee of theirs? Because then, how did you get this frequency? And my workplace is on lockdown because Z13 broke out, and he is killing every Urban Shade member and releasing every monster. Yep, it sounds like the kind of unprofessionality that I expect from Urban Shade, to be honest. Do better, punk asses. How would you contain the creatures of Silk Song? Well, Dr. Dyshern, they are, after all, bugs. There's nothing to say that they aren't already in containment in a nice terrarium somewhere. And that's what their graveyard and all that being locked in a single place. You notice there's a set map and they can't escape. That's a containment cell, baby. SCP-067 versus SCP-096? Well, intern Baggy, SCP-067 is a fountain pen. So, A, it can't do anything. B, it can't look at 096's face to activate it. C, it can't do anything. And D, we did use SCP-067 on SCP-682, and it did write its own biography against its will. So, what if we tested 067 on 096? What could we find out? Because we know 096 is barely sapient sentient, if at all. It obviously doesn't remember its own history, but what if 067 did work on 096? What could we learn? I'm interested. Time check. Senior Researcher Frogman, we are at 42 minutes, which leaves 18 minutes left in stream. And you guys' questions have been so good, I completely ignored the subjects of today's stream, which is interesting objects in the Foundation that we were going to talk about, of which SCP-067 is one, so, you know, that's good. We have, in fact, talked about an object. Meanwhile, Mr. Scum, make the 67 SCP-067-J. Someone did try that and failed. Many SCPs that are just based on memes do not pass muster on the wiki. It's just a symptom of being based on a popular meme, and they're usually not written with very much effort. Even the SCP that was based on the Criminal, which Radiger created. Radiger created the Criminal, not the SCP about the Criminal. I don't know who created the SCP about the Criminal, but I know there was a whole problem with that situation. I think it like barely passed muster or something. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. I'm a member of the SCP Wiki now, yay. Oh, congratulations on getting your membership application accepted. Now you can vote with impunity, as long as you don't do anything illegal with your voting. And good luck if you decide to write some articles. Daniel, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself some hush puppies on your way past the commissary. Would it be morally objectionable to use the fountain pen to obtain a criminal confession? Well, we do know that the biographies that it writes are true. So honestly, the main problem is that it might not give us the particular confession-worthy event. After all, it's writing your whole biography. It's going to skip around a little bit. So it might not actually list the crime among the things it writes, but not a bad idea. I mean, remember, we're the Foundation. We are a non-governmental organization, and that means we don't have to fulfill the same constitutional rights as the United States or any other country we operate in. So, objectionable? I don't think so. Unethical? Who cares? We're getting the job done here. Lost, thank you for donating again. Found a calendar. Why is there such a large gap in my memory? Also, I thought this was just another black site for Urban Shade, so where am I? Oh no, you're one of those... I think you actually defected from Urban Shade to the Foundation, but wow, that was a while ago. You are going to need some nestics and some re-onboarding. So, yeah, have fun at medical. That's going to take you some time. Oh, Dr. L, thank you for letting me know. Yes, the likes have victoriously climbed atop the viewer count, which means the YouTube algorithm will bring us more people into the SCP Foundation fandom. So thank you, Site42's favorite Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. Keep hitting that like button and we will continue to make people SCP fans whether they like it or not. What is the song playing right now? Well, Galaxy, here's the deal. I don't know when you asked that, so I'm going to list the album that the song is on, and you can go check. The album is called Purple Galaxy by royalty music maker Kevin MacLeod. It's on Spotify if you would like to check it out. Intern Juski. I already made my thoughts about SCP-067 very clear during this stream. You can rewatch it from the start to get that information. I'm not going to repeat it. My friend is being Dr. Kondraki for Halloween. I'm being Dr. Clef. Help me. Well, what sort of help do you need? Do you need help choosing outfits? Because while Clef, who you are doing, is a very clear costume, very easy to figure out, the Kondraki costume is actually the harder of the two. It's a little more plain clothes. It's a little harder to tell, although I believe the trucker cap and maybe some butterflies pinned to the lab coat would help make that clear. But Clef, you get the hat, you get the Hawaiian shirt, you get the shotgun, and I think you're good to go. Put a third eye on there if you want to go all out. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for donating again. SCP-674 is cool. Well, I'll bite. What is SCP-674? The Exposition Gun. SCP-674 is a Zapper light gun peripheral for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm familiar with the Duck Hunt. The device is not indestructible and has responded to stress tests as expected. Disassembling and reassembling the device has revealed no anomalous parts, but it still does its anomaly. Okay. When it's aimed and fired at any video screen, the user perceives that he or she has fired a shot into the displayed scene. Any physical object within the scene, whether live or previously recorded, will react appropriately in context. People who are shot will appear to die or be wounded, and other people in the scene will duck, take cover, or flee off camera. Okay, so you can shoot fictional characters in any showing. Animated cartoons can also be affected, although cartoon logic produces wildly unpredictable results. That makes sense. The most notable result of use of 674 is that it is permanent and can lead to very unusual experiences for the viewer. If a subject uses the device to shoot a character in a TV series, they will forever perceive that they have changed the continuity of the series. A character will remain wounded or dead, and other characters will respond in context. This will continue even if 674 is only used once, and the viewer is never exposed to it again. At a certain threshold, fictional characters will begin to make broadly expositional statements to each other or through the fourth wall regarding the actions of the viewer, potentially divulging sensitive information. So, interesting. Well, that's not really, I wouldn't say that's an exposition gun. I would just say that's a gun that shoots fictional characters. I think this name is rather misleading, to be honest. I don't concur with the classification of this object. It is a cool object, though. I do concur with that. Rayumi, thank you for becoming a Site-42 member at the Level 1 Researcher tier. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the research you will be doing to help us win the battle against the White Names. Hey, if I, and this is all hypothetical and definitely didn't happen, created Clown Milk Jesus and let him out into public. I'm just saying hypothetically, how do I stop him? Clown Milk Jesus has not become a thing, nor will it be a thing. Don't lie to me. Even through your hypotheticals, which, come on, give a guy a little credit. You think I don't see through that? Humph, is what I say to you. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for donating again. Boss, if you shoot someone in the news with 674, it makes it look like the person died. Chaos everywhere. Is that true? Is that what it says? News. Fictional characters in a television show will react consistently within the established parameters of their setting, while firing into news reports or documentaries will produce a realistic reaction. Therefore, shooting an actor in an interview will produce different results than shooting at the same actor who is currently portraying an invisible cyborg in a science fiction movie. Well, that's true, but it doesn't correspond with reality outside of the video, and no one beyond the user of 674 will perceive the change. So it's not changing reality outside of the television set. That is the sentence previously to the one that mentions what you said. So only the person who shot the gun notes the change in the thing. And it only takes place in the television show. So even if you and I were testing the anomaly, and you shot Captain Picard, you would perceive Captain Picard as being shot, but I wouldn't notice it. At least that's what the database entry says. Dr. Sherman, what if I find the SCP that causes eternal drowsiness? Serious question. Intern Diamond, I don't know what that means. Is there a specific SCP that does that? I know the sleep killers make it so you can't sleep, which I assume would make you drowsy forever, so that could be part and parcel of the anomaly there, but it's not exactly their main anomaly, I would say. I'm gonna need more details about what you're talking about here. Foxy Bunny, thank you for making the effort to take your next donation to the Ko-Fi. We appreciate the effort. Cool Object SCP, SCP-1905. Gun that spawns dinosaur skeletons to shoot. Excuse me? That sounds interesting. Dino Hunter Model 6 is the code name. It's a stopping rifle chambered for 5.77 Tyrannosaurus round. 1905 lacks a serial number and possesses no manufacturing marks. The left side of 1905 stock has the phrases "Jur ass kick" and "Dinosaur" carved into it. When 1905 is loaded and within 3 meters of an individual capable of firing it, an instance of -1 will spontaneously manifest relatively close to 1905. 1905 will misfire unless it is aimed directly at an instance of -1. -1s are sentient beings physically resembling various dinosaurs. They are composed of fiberglass and plaster. They show no abnormal resilience and cease function upon receiving sufficient amounts of damage. Okay. So it's like dinosaur, clay, pigeon shooting training. Or like a kid's toy for dinosaur hunting. Very interesting. I had never heard of this anomaly. Thank you, Foxy Bunny, for the intel. I'm sure Clef would have a field day with that thing. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. AliExpress has sunglasses for 3 eyes, my go-to for Clef cosplay. Ah, yes, I have seen those 3 lensed sunglasses, so yes, That is easier than painting a eyeball on your forehead, although then you would have to wear your sunglasses at night, which is a bit of a safety hazard, so you got to be cautious with that. Make sure you have a group who can protect you. We gotta add this gun to Clef's gun collection. Senior Researcher Frogman, it is still an anomaly that needs to be contained. We just can't have Clef go have fun with whatever anomalous firearm we have. I mean, imagine if we gave Clef the nerfing gun, SCP-3008. Imagine the chaos. Absolutely not. No. How many coffee breaks does Dr. Sherman get per day? Well, I'm the site director, so as many as I like. But I do one coffee break stream per day, sometimes two if there's a special occasion. To be fair, could the guns even work with Dr. Clef's reality sync? Well, Dr. Clef being a reality sync, which means that anomalies are less functional around Clef, is part of an issue there. But we also know that Clef deals with anomalies all the time and can sometimes turn that off and on. So it's possible that it would, it's possible that it wouldn't. I guess it depends on the canon. Yes. Oh, I have been given permission to interview Steve. What? What do you mean I'm not gonna like it? Okay, listen, I'll be there in a second. All right, staff, I need you to hang out for a moment with Dr. Chair. I'm going to go get some frickin' answers. Son of a bitch! Damn it! Fucking! No! No! He doesn't remember shit. Medical says they gave him the strongest nestics we have on site. They need to get stronger fucking nestics. What do you mean? He doesn't remember working for the Foundation. What do you mean Steve doesn't remember working for me? No, there's got to be something stronger we can get. I just need to talk to the overseers. I can requisition something from maybe Dr. Miller can help me out. He owes me a favor. Guys, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. This may never start. We could fall apart, and I'd be your memory. Lost your sense of fear, feelings insincere, and I'd be your memory. So get back to where we lasted, just like I imagined. I could never feel this way. Get back to where we lasted. My heart's beating faster, holding on to feel the same. The credit song is Memory by Sugar Cult.